Basically, you have this idea that's good. It's correct. You should fight here. But you're so confident in it that you're like over executing. Because of your ability to recognize these opportunities, they will present themselves later. You just have to trust your instinct. This video is sponsored by Mercari, one of the largest marketplaces in the world where you can buy and sell basically anything that you can think of. They've recently released a shop where you can buy and sell digital products, starting with skins for miscellaneous Steam games, most importantly, Dota 2, directly from your Steam inventory by connecting your Steam account. Transactions are safe because Mercari is holding all payments until the trading is complete. Mercari is free to join and easy to use, so give it a try using the link in the description below. You said, why did you lose this game, Donnie? What was it?
I mean, we lost this game for many reasons. I think Bounty Hunter is probably not that good of a hero. It might be okay, but it certainly is not good against their draft.
Which role were you?
I was 4.
Okay.
And I think I picked 2nd on our team. Yeah, it was the 2nd pick on our team.
Let's see.
And
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Supports.
And then after that, I think one of our biggest problems, aside from me not getting enough done as a 4, were that our Skywrath got butthurt and bought a Midas and jungled instead of coming to a fight, and our Axe went Vanguard before going Blink when we needed him to go Blink because we couldn't take fights otherwise.
Okay.
But that's my assessment of this video, because we ended up basically just doing like OG versus Liquid, where we just kind of ran at each other for 20 minutes, and then their heroes were better at it than we were.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say what I say to my students on coaching, by the way, coachbin.com/Jenkins. And that's that, you know, it doesn't matter what they did. I'm sure we can find some stuff for you to improve on. That is,
I'm sure
that's valuable. Because, you know, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, as you know. I'm joking a little bit, just fucking with you. But,
words hurt, Jenkins. Words hurt.
Yeah, I know, especially the dirty words, which you were calling me off camera before we started recording.
Stinky butthole Jenkins.
Come on. I told you not to call me that. I told you not to say that. So yeah, what you were AFK for like 20 seconds?
Yeah, because I was talking to Axe, and he was against the Dazzle Ursuline, and I was like, hey, do you want me to pull the second wave or double wave it? And he was not answering at first, so I was deciding what starting at him, so I was going.
Sure. Okay. So I would definitely try to get out of base quicker, because scouting to see, like, you could see, like, is this a tri-lane? If there's like a tri-lane up here, you have to act differently. If there isn't an Ursa here, if it's like a Bristle or an Ember, then he can just like play the lane normally. There's a lot of little pieces of information. Boots first. I'm not entirely sure what people build on this hero.
Yeah, I went for boots first because I was gonna do the creep drag.
That's like I see. Okay, yeah, no, I think that's a good idea, actually. I think that's quite a good idea. And then you invis to get past the to get past the tower, to get past the vision. Can you take this? You can, right?
Yeah. Figured why not.
We'll speed this up a little bit, because I think your idea so far is definitely correct. So yeah, you see that there's an Ursa. It's also a Dazzle, so you definitely don't want to lane this normally. That is not going to be possible. Yeah. So you probably want to drag as much as you can and like play mid, maybe go play bot. I think ganking bot is a solid play. Another potential play is to just start as a tri-lane and go Oov and just like sit between bot and mid and just let Axe solo and just let him get cucked. Yeah. But this is also fine.
I also feed here because he salves.
Yeah, all I would say here is this is, and I mean, we talk about this a lot, like, you've essentially already killed this guy. He has to walk all the way back to base with 271 move speed. Well, he's slowed a little bit by the battle hunger, but he's slow. He has to walk all the way back to base. If you go top, cutting is like totally free. Like, Axe could even skill spin. Well, he's skilled battle hunger here, but cutting is free. You could like mess with the mid laner. I don't know who that is, but you could go like cut the third wave while Axe cuts the second. You could go sit in the lane and you could get your level 2 That's
Yeah.
probably the play, honestly. I'm just kind of going through ideas. I'm not saying like any of them are good. I'm just kind of going through a bunch. But I think sitting in lane and getting level 2 for free because the dazzle can't be there, which I just watched a game Liquid playing. They basically did that every single time they had mind control cutting. They would have like Kuroki go up there, get level 2, and then he'd just fuck off and go somewhere else. So you getting level 2 and then the axe cutting, or him getting level 2 and then you cutting would be good here because this guy's essentially dead. So
Yeah, I thought that if I hit him one more time, the battle hunger would take him out. But in retrospect, having him walk back to lane is actually even better because it takes way longer.
yeah, he baited you with the solve. The solve was actually like a really good timing. He did it like literally
Yeah.
as you were doing the animation. That guy just
Yep.
played. He played pretty well.
Axe also asked me to make a double wave for him, so I TP to our
Ooh,
outpost, which
I love that.
which I took, and then just wait for the wave.
I mean, obviously, totally unnecessary, but I like that you took the outpost so you're able to do that. I think that's like that's one of your like edgy little ideas that people. You're definitely right about that one. I think outposts are not
It's kind of
abused quite enough.
gangster that you can do this in like level 1 plays and shit.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna change it. This
So
seems pretty ridiculous.
by the way, another way that you guys can play this lane is you can have just axe straight cut at the tier 3, and then when
Yeah.
the dazzle heads over to fight him, you just punch the crap out of the dazzle, and you just bodyguard him until the geez, do you get the courier here? My god.
Yeah.
So you just bodyguard him essentially until Axe can sit on his own, and then you go as like a tri lane. And once again, I did not have this thought at the start of the game, but like if I'm looking at my own replay, I would say in retrospect, I think that is the play, because if you double wave this, then it's going to hit a certain point where Axe needs to lane anyway, and I don't think there's any way that you lane this. There's no point that you get to me unless they really fuck up where Ursa
Right.
Dazzle won't be able to lane an axe. So I think you just get to a situation where he can permanently lane there. And if you're doing this double waving thing, it gives Dazzle a chance to get level 2, especially because he got a kill on you, which doesn't matter that much in terms of XP. But yeah, I really think you would like the situation where Axe is just here and just spinning and cutting. And if you need to help him do that, that's fine, because you're going to be having a free lane against... You're going to be splitting XP 50-50, but that's what you're doing anyway if you're laning normally, right? And then
Yeah.
eventually, of course, you can leave. If Axe gets like level 3 or 4 and Dazzle's still level 1, what the fuck is Dazzle going to do to an Axe? They need to TP the other support, and then Axe just TPs out. They have a tri-lane top, and that's GG from that. You know, so like
Yeah.
this lets them zone him essentially, and he's still level
Right.
1. Like he's ultra
It's
fucked.
just hard sometimes to get people to do the correct thing because this guy is already committed to wanting to play the lane his way, you know? But that's definitely something
Yeah, I
can
got you.
communicate.
Definitely.
Hey, you should go cut tier 3, and he might be like, "You're stupid" or something.
Yeah,
but he might also say yes. Okay.
Right, exactly. I always say like you just try to do the best play, and if people don't do it, then I would probably say you just like cut every wave. I have another potential play for you. You can tell me like what you think about it. But I was thinking another possible play is to, let's say this guy is too stupid to go to the tier 3 and he's just like, no, that's bad. Then I think you can drag every other wave here,
Mhm.
and then once you're done dragging the wave, you go over here and stack this. And I don't think on a melee hero you can stack both, but you would be dragging enough that you can eventually have like a double or a triple stack here, and then like a double stack here, and then Axe can spin and farm it while you take the lane, and that'll get you some levels, and then that'll obviously benefit him because he can take it. Like none of your other heroes can take it, but anytime you have an Axe, people used to do this with like Ancients. They just pick Axe, they would get countered.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then they would just stack for him, and he'd get huge, and that's why
Right.
that would actually make the Vanguard worth it, because it'd be a farming item, even though Vanguard's garbage. But people used to go Vanguard because the support would stack for the Axe.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's
I always kind of forget that it's been a while since we've had this meta where the offlaner is often sacked, and it's kind of coming back these days.
It is, yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
And so I forget that one of the tactics is to literally just sack the lane for like 10 minutes and stack for them, and then they just become like the carry for the next 10 minutes in the jungle.
Like hard creep cutting is becoming a thing too. Like I've played a dozen Batrider games in the past few days where I'm literally just, as soon as I get level 2, I just double up the wave, drag it to a camp, farm it, double up the wave, drag it to a camp, farm it, and then my support just goes in tri-lanes and like feeds off their solo offlane who's also solo. Like creep cutters are just kind of coming back.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I got a decent amount of stuff done in the early game. Like we killed the Ember twice. Axe got okay farm. I mean, Ursa's obviously free farming, but Axe is like.
I do want to say with your items, your itemization is a little bit greedy, where you're just going for like a straight
phase.
I think it's super memey to have just boots Blades of Attack. Like if you watch somebody else play this BH who's really good at BH, they might do the exact same things that you're doing because it's good shit, genuinely good shit. But they might actually be having a better game because instead of these items, they have an oov, they have a windlace because a windlace is like a way more efficient item to get first than boots. Like a lot of people are doing that. You did start with the boots though, so it's not that bad. But they'll have like a stick because stick is really good for fighting. They might have some tangos, like a sentry, something like that.
I have an aversion to going oov after like the 5 minute mark or like 3 minute mark, just because I feel like it's kind of, especially if I'm not.
Blight is also okay.
But I agree.
Because
I went for the Blades of Attack because you have the crit, so I was like, okay, well, just raw damage.
Because I see your itemization here too is kind of like, once again, really big items. Like Phase, the wand is good, but then straight solar, like there's no like headdress, there's no Basilius, there's no like Blightstone or Oov or anything like that. It's just, or like Bracer or anything. I mean, I don't think Bracers are particularly good, but I really do like the buildup of like small items. Like I think this itemization is more in line with what you would want. Like, you know, Vlad's medallion, magic wand, like a cloak. I actually think this is pretty good, especially now that you have the slot for the neutral item and they don't fill up your inventory. I think
I agree.
You want to fill up with like the bullshit aura items, basically.
I always forget that the Vlad's build-up items actually give you stats now, so it's like way better to get them.
It's nasty, man. You can run around with a buckler Basilius, and you're so insanely tanky, and then it builds into a fucking mini satanic for your team. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. I go, even if I'm not going Vlad's, I go buckler Bastion almost every game.
Buckler, I don't actually know why. I don't actually know why I didn't even think about Vlad's. For some reason, I was like, oh, I'm just going to get Solar, and then I'm just going to run at the Dazzle every fight and like two-shot him, and then he won't be able to grave his team, and my teammates will take care of everybody else. But
I like Medallion. I like an eventual Solar, but Vlad's is just like a gross item. If you go Medallion Vlad's, that's Roche. That's you literally take any carry and put them in Roche, and they will stay at 100% HP. Like Jug with the Vlad's is just filthy. It's just filthy. And I mean, as we've talked about a lot, like small things like this itemization sort of shit. I mean, especially at this level where you're like already a divine player, it's things like that are going to make your games way easier. Like if you're doing really good shit and you're not playing with the broken items, the game's going to be hard for you naturally. Dota is a game that's based off of picking the broken shit and buying the broken shit. And Vlad's is just a gross item. I can't believe they haven't nerfed it more. They nerfed the mana regen on it. Like, come on. Like I said, you're actually I'm not even joking when I say this. Like, I'm telling you this straight up. You're doing a lot of really good shit, but there's some memes in here that I legit think if you worked out, like, you'd be insanely good. Because like that is really fucking good what you just did. Really, really good. And then you stack the camp on the way back too. That's like really high level. But you have fucking Phase Boots Clarity, dude. Like, Phase Boots Clarity, no TP. Like, it's crazy.
It's pretty gross.
It's just nasty. Yeah, I like the Windlace. Good players buy Windlaces. Drums is pretty good. Decent on this hero. Drums, Vlad's, Medallion. I would love like that build. If they had a lot of magic damage, like a pipe is good. Vessels. Yeah,
I definitely just tunnel visioned on being able to be like a bully in these fights, but looking at their lineup, it's like not really my role.
Yeah, you have a lot of heroes that can kill them. Sky, Jug, Axe. Like these are like run you down and fight you here. Like these heroes just want to fight. All you need to do is like build to save your team. I'm not a huge fan of like the Greaves build on BH anymore.
I don't like it at all. You're like such a right clicker. So like all of your skills are for right clicking too.
But I do love the like Medallion Vlad's drums because those are items that benefit your team as well. Like offlaners build those items all the time.
Yep.
I think the play is to just run at the top tower and get them to like go up there. Mm-hmm. You know, and
away from the jug.
And leave your jug alone. Exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. It's just that like when you look at these heroes, like this guy, okay, his camera's in base. This guy doesn't want to fight. This guy wants to fight, and this guy wants to fight.
Right.
Axe is the tanky frontliner guy. He has a Vanguard. So I think you just run him at this tower and whack it, and then they TP a bunch of heroes in. You 4v5. You probably trade 1-for-1 despite 4v5ing. This guy free farms, gets his Maelstrom, and he's just fucking huge, and then you win the game. That's kind of how I see this going.
I think I was scared to play into the Ursa because he had such an easy lane and was pretty fat.
He's actually not super.
Yeah, he's going straight basher. So
he does have I think he does have the thing on the courier, but Like Axe is quite strong. He is level 9, so if there's any
Right.
hero that you're gonna play with, it's the Axe. He's your beefy frontliner guy, and your Sky definitely needs a beefy frontliner guy to stand in front of him. And it's not you right now. You've
Yeah.
840 HP. Sage's Mask, Windlace. So
Yeah. Memes for sure.
so
In this
you,
game, definitely
so
Buckler.
you guys are kind of like fighting into the hero that wants to fight right now, which is like the bristleback. He's basically their ape. Your ape is Axe, and like you wanna put your big gorilla dumb ape like in front and just running at towers and being a moron. And they did that here, and like that's why they're owning you in this fight is because you're like fighting into them.
Right.
So I do like the idea of defending this tower, but I still think it's along this. I haven't seen in pro matches or anything. I think it's still along the same lines of like if you defend the tower, you need to be really careful about like trying to defend it again because they all just respawn and then you have no resources. You've like used all your TPs to get down there and then they just like wipe you. Like usually you defend the tower when they dive and then you fuck off. Like you never really
Yeah.
want to play your own jungle too much.
That was when Sky said he wasn't going to play with us anymore and was going to jungle. And so he TP'd mid to get his Atos instead of coming to that fight.
It's not
Which
bad
was,
to get to like hard farm the Atos. You definitely sack the tower at
yeah.
that point because
Yeah. Agreed.
you're done. But so now Jug goes top, and you're in this weird situation where you like don't have the top tower. They have the entire bot area of the map. One person can TP up. Any one of the cores on their team can come up here and push him out because they're all
Yep.
good against Jug. So this is why like you guys would have need to have taken this area because all he's gonna have is this camp, and if he goes to the other one, it's like super dangerous.
Yeah. So I think then we just kind of continue to run at the
You're just
bottom
like
for a bit.
chain feeding bot. Yeah, you guys desperately need to like run to that top tower and get that shit. That's like gonna hinder your game massively. That's where I see this game being lost is just continuing
just
to try to fight down here.
Sack the tier 2 and just go top.
Yeah, that tier 2 is so meaningless. I mean, especially with the
Yep.
outposts now. This is one thing that's like very different between like Divine and the like high immortal pubs is that in high immortal pubs, if people want to like not let the enemy team get this area, they'll just send the Jakiro down and he'll macro pyre the wave, and then if he gets dove,
Yep.
they fight there. But they won't run in and like, hey, let's fight them and push them out of here. It's like, no, Jakiro's gonna defend this tower alone, and if he dies, who gives a fuck? Probably won't.
Yep.
Like a good team will TP in to respond to that, and then that's a good fight to fight down here. And then you can kind of take over this area just because you're already here and you want to farm out the camps, but eventually you want to make your way somewhere else. Yeah, this is literally just playing into their area. Like,
Yep.
and I would say especially after the very first time where you try to do that and it doesn't work, you just say fuck this and you get out. That's one thing that I noticed when I was watching True Sight. I actually started writing notes for this just because I was like, oh, this is interesting because you get confirmation on like what the good players are actually doing.
Yeah.
They would take like one fight, do something wrong, and Kuroki would immediately change the strategy. Like he would never say, okay, let's just do it again, but better. He'd be like, no, we're going on this guy in the fights. We're not. Obviously OG won, but Kuroki was just the person that I saw say, he said that. And I think this is one of those situations where you fuck up once, and it's like, all right, that sucked. Let's try something else. Okay, that sucked. Let's try something else. And if it doesn't work, you lose. If it works, you win. Nothing more to it.
Yeah. Seb and Jarex were doing that a lot, where they'd make a mistake
and just instantly they adjust. They change.
Right.
They change something. The worst thing that you can do is this guy refuses to fight. He's the most important guy for your fights, and you continue fighting. Like split pushing's not that bad, even if it's a situation where like you guys could fight. Split pushing is still not a bad, like in Dota, you're always going to go even if you're split pushing, and sometimes you'd rather go even than just horribly lose the game. Because I've been watching for the last like three or 4 minutes, it wasn't going that bad, but then you guys just kept feeding into them over and over for no reason, and the net worth went from the little squiggly thing 1k or less than 1k to 4k. Now you're fucked. But it was like 15 minutes 4 minutes ago, and everything was fine. I bet in this game it felt so much worse for you because Skyrath was being an asshole, but you are actually fine.
Because I don't know, I'm one of those people where like I look at the map right now and I see, okay, Dazzle, Ember, Ursa here, Bristle top. This seems like an okay place to fight. Like it's under our vision. We're on high ground. But I guess we don't have our axe quite yet, and there's nowhere to TP anymore because there's no shrine. So it's probably actually not that good.
This is one of those things where this is actually a thing, by the way. What you experienced in this moment, where your idea of your idea, I've seen this so many times, and I don't just mean with like coaching people. I mean, I've literally experienced this like playing on pro teams, the people, is that you have this really good idea. Basically, you have this idea that's good. It's correct. You should fight here, but you're so confident in it that you're like over executing. You're
Yeah.
not being patient enough and waiting for your team to get there. And maybe if you do wait, the opportunity goes away, but that's
But
just
then,
life.
yeah.
That's just
Yep.
life. Because of your ability to recognize these opportunities, they will present themselves later. You just have to trust your instinct. You have to
Yeah.
trust that they will present themselves and just let it happen. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Because this is good, but then you just walk up and get double searing chains by Ember, and then you're fucked because your axe
Yeah.
isn't quite there yet. Your Jakiro's a little far away, and your jug hasn't connected yet.
Right. Yeah, I definitely do this. This is definitely one of the main ways that I lose games where we're a bit behind or we're not like overwhelmingly ahead, where I'll recognize like a vulnerability in the enemy team where they're split up and I'll just be like, this is the moment. And then I go and the rest of my team is not quite as fast at recognizing that, or they're like not quite in the right position because I'm not totally paying attention to the mini map or something like that.
It depends on the day. Like if you're really in the zone, sometimes it's just
Yeah.
because your team isn't in the zone and they're not fast enough. And then other
Right.
times it's like you're so hyper focused on your own game that you don't realize that they're a little far away. But in either case, it's just solved by being really patient and just really waiting for it to be absolutely sure that your team is there to help. And if you do run in and you die, well, they're close enough that they can at least take advantage of that, you know? Well, thanks for watching this video, guys. This is our first little coaching session collab thing that we're doing. Donnie and I are going to collaborate on a video every Wednesday. I don't know why in God's name we haven't done this before, because we're both idiots. But we're doing it now, and if you want to support us, head on over to patreon.com/Dota Alchemy. I just uploaded like 3 or 4 different coaching sessions from 7.24. I think Donnie put like 1 or 2 up there.
Yep.
And there
We've
will
got
be
another
more
one coming out tomorrow too.
Yep, there will be more coming soon. We do replay review every Thursday. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in another video.